Hey everybody, it's Pax. I'm going back to a deck building video before I start the next scenario, which is Yamamonogatari. And the reason is I got a bit of an update from Makima or Toast Sushi on the campaign, and it came with a bunch of updates to cards. So I figured I'd implement them because I think it's kind of intended to be the intended play experience. So I'll just start with the updated cards in the deck, and then I'll go into my upgrades for each deck. So Shinobu's basically the same. I think the only thing that's changed here is the ability is now limit once per round, which I think I was treating it as that anyways. And the Elder Sign effect now says to trigger the reaction ability an additional time, ignoring its limit. It didn't actually say to ignore its limit before, so I think technically it didn't actually work, but I was playing it the way it was intended to be played already, so that's fine. So that's the update to the Investigator card. Princess Beauty I believe just had a wording change. It used to say if you cannot flip Koyomi Araragi, Araragi, take a horror. It just says if you can't now. So if you cannot. So that one's a good one. There's 2 story asset upgrades, and these ones are pretty significant, I believe. Karen and Tsukihi are now a 4-cost asset. They were 3 before. And they lost a wild icon each. And they've lost a sanity on Karen and a health on Tsukihi. But otherwise, I believe they're the same. I think those are the only changes to them. They still give +1 to 2 stats and take up a single ally slot. And when they enter play, you can search your deck hand and discard pile and put the other one into play. So they're still quite good, I think. They probably were a little too good before, but they're still really good. The Kokoro Watari and the upgraded version of the Kokoro Watari have a change, but I only have this one in my deck right now, so I'll just do it only for now. It's 4-cost asset. I believe it was 5 before, but it's 4-cost now. And the ability is changed to fight. You get +2 for this attack. When you initiate this ability, you may exhaust Kokoro Watari to have this attack deal +1 damage. If the attack defeats a monster enemy, you may ready it, and after this attack resolves, you may take a damage to ready it. So you can't just go nuts with it for a single round, and that's probably why the cost was reduced. But if you're fighting monsters, if you're defeating monsters using it, then you can. So that's pretty cool. Next is and last, I guess, for Shinobu is the basic weakness, Ataxia. It's now a permanent, linked. When you become the bearer of this weakness, suffer a physical trauma, so I'll be making sure that I start with the physical trauma. And when your turn ends, if there's damage on Ataxia, lose 2 resources. So it kind of gives you extra health, but if you ever have to assign damage here, then you're losing 2 resources a turn. But this is actually kind of an upgrade for for Shinobu, because the way that trauma works with linked cards, Koyomi in particular, because he's also linked, because all my allies are linked, is trauma can be assigned to them. The damage from trauma can be assigned to them. So he's going to be starting every game with the damage on him now. So that'll be pretty cool. And then the upgrade for the deck, I just went with 2 Vicious Blows. I had 4 XP, and it needs to happen eventually, and with a 5, especially with a 5 base combat investigator. So 2 Vicious Blows are going in the deck. And that is all for Shinobu. Now over here with Hitagi, I believe the only change to her investigator card is that for both of the 2 options, they now say 5 other level 0 secret cards. So like when I choose Insight level 0 to 5, Survivor 0 to 2, Neutral 0 to 5, I don't get like magnifying glasses or anything. And I think that might have been a bit of a hole for her, because 4 base intellect is really good. It is really good, but you don't have any way to boost it, and that's kind of why I went with the Mariner's Compass to begin with, is because it was like, oh, I can get up to 7 with this and get 2 clues each time I do it. That's pretty cool. But now you can have up to 5 other level 0 cards, regardless of which way you go. I'm on Survivor 0 to 5, Insight 0 to 2. But I could have 5 other level 0 cards. So that's good to keep in mind if I buy like an Exile card and get rid of something. I can replace it with a level 0 secret card, which I might, now that that's an option. So that's Hitagi's change. One of the big ones here is, whoops, I forgot to delete the old ones down here for her. The biggest one I see here is weightlessness. It's still 3 cost, intellect, combat, wild. But this text here, draw actions you perform do not provoke attacks of opportunity, is massive. Because I noticed in the last scenario, I couldn't use her draw action to discard Imposter Oddity to deal 2 damage to a guy. It would always provoke an attack of opportunity. And so Imposter Oddity ended up being a lot worse than I had anticipated. And I was having a hard time playing it. So that's a huge help. That's really awesome. Oh, that was there, I believe. The next is the high-ranking cult members. I think the only change here is -1 health. He's a 2/2/2 instead of a 2/3/2. And that'll just be a bit easier both for her to get rid of it herself and also for Shinobu to reach over, not have to waste a vicious blow on it to beat it, or a beat cop charge to kill it in 1 hit, right? And I believe the ability is the same. I didn't actually check that one before I deleted them down here. Maybe that's why I shouldn't have deleted them. Now, Contemplation and Imposter Oddity, and I believe also Limitless Stationary, but it wasn't included in the mod update. They all say something slightly different for the Contemplation. I'll just pull this one up and kind of, or sorry, for the reaction for the limit, right? So it used to say, play it, limit 1 introspection ability per discard. And what it now says, and I'm treating Limitless Stationary the same way despite not having the updated card, is play it max once per turn. So you can only do 1 Contemplation, 1 Imposter Oddity, and 1 Limitless Stationary per turn. And that's probably, and the other one that has since been upgraded out of my deck. And I imagine that's something to do with like infinite combos, probably. Like, I just have a feeling, because the other one also added an action. Did I change it up here? Yeah, Liquid Memories was also 1, and it costs 2 now. So anyways, that's kind of where that sits. In terms of upgrades for Hitagi, I read at the end of the last scenario, I caught that I had an extra XP, and so I thought I only had 4 to play with, but I actually had 5. So I'm replacing 2 old key rings with 2 sharp vision, because I figure sharp vision is basically the same as an Mariner Compass, Investigate, and there's like, with the amount of card draw I have, it's like really easy to just take. And the old key rings, like, they weren't, I don't know, I wasn't really playing them, and -2 Shroud on, I find with the old key rings, you really, like, it needs to be getting you into a really comfortable look what I found range without always just passing it all the time. And I kind of was just passing and not worried about that. So those are going by the wayside, and I'm adding in a Charisma. Now, I think that was all the changes. So I will catch you guys in the next video where I start Yamamonogatari. Thanks. Bye.